In the 1980s, I was living in the Bay Area, the San Francisco Bay Area, and I was following the San Francisco 49ers. That was the era when Eddie DeBartola Jr. was the president of the club. Bill Walsh, who had coached high school football in Fremont and then had moved on to college football and then later to the 49ers. He was the coach. He was the general manager. And at quarterback, Joe Montana. Joe Montana, just a pleasure to watch. And Dwight Clark as a receiver. And names like that stood out for us. And we watched them with great interest. And here's what I remember about that team of the 1980s. It didn't necessarily tell the whole story, how they were doing in the first half. They would often go down to halftime in the first half, as I recall, and I know that I don't have a mind for football statistics, but they would go to the locker room to rest up at halftime, and they would come out, and from behind, they had a capacity to pull ahead and win a football game. I think we have a temptation in our lives to go to the locker room at halftime and realize that we're behind and realize that we're down. We may be down by more than one touchdown, and to give up, to grow discouraged, to say, well, this thing's lost and we'll just ride it out until the clock runs down. The 49ers weren't like that with Bill Walsh and Joe Montana. And life is not always like that for us. It's possible for us to come out of the locker room after halftime, and in the second half of our lives, the second half of our games, the second half of our careers, pull ahead and emerge as winners if our hearts are set and if our commitment is sound, and most of all, if we haven't given up yet, if we haven't quit. It's not over till it's over.